Abbiamo iniziato il webinar, però è ancora presto, un attimo.
Ok. Eccoci qua, buongiorno a tutti, benvenuti e grazie per esservi registrati a questo webinar. Mi chiamo Mia e faccio parte di Visit USA insieme a Lia, che conoscete certamente. Oggi abbiamo il piacere di parlare di Universal Orlando Resort e di Universal Studios Hollywood. Io sono una grandissima fan, Dave lo sa, ho avuto il piacere di andare a Universal Studios Hollywood 3 settimane fa, quindi conosco il parco a menadito, e adesso vi passo Dave che vi racconterà le grandissime novità di questi due parchi, perché abbiamo anche un grande annuncio, vediamo se ce lo fa oggi in diretta. Se avete delle domande vi prego di segnarveli nella chat apposita e alla fine della presentazione di Dave prendiamo le domande e aspettiamo le sue risposte. Quindi Dave, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mia. That's really great. And buongiorno, everybody. My Italian, I'm learning. So next time I come to see you, maybe I'll speak a little bit with you. But lovely to have everybody here on this webinar today. This time last year, when I was presenting to you, we did not have Universal Studios Hollywood open. We had been through very difficult times, and it's so nice to be able to talk to you now when we are coming to a different feeling within the parks and the hotels at Universal. So I'm really happy to speak to you today. I'm going to move through my presentation. I'm just going to make sure it's working. Yes. Just to give you my personal details here, my email address for those people who do not have a contact for me, this is my email address where you can contact me. I work for Universal Parks and Resorts here in the UK. So we have a London office that looks after all of the European source markets as well. So I have partners here in the UK, and I also have the responsibility for looking after business from our markets like Italy. So this is my email address, and I work for both Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal Orlando Resort. So today we're going to talk a little bit about both. Many times before when I've spoken to you, we talked about the way to get the best information from the Universal Parks and Hotels for you. And this has been by way of our portal, our Universal Partner Community. This is for people all around the world who sell Universal, who promote Universal, both in Orlando and now also in Hollywood, because the last time I spoke to you, we didn't have the information for Hollywood involved in this Universal Partner Community, but now you can actually access information for both parks, which is really useful. And down the left-hand side, there's many different tabs that you can click on in order to read blogs and information, the latest news from the Universal Parks. You can also click and link into our YouTube pages for our videos. If you are working on social media and want to have some images that you know they are okay to use on your social media, then you can find these in the toolkits involved here. So lots of different information for travel agents and tour operator partners to be able to use. And also, of course, we have training on here as well. And when you complete the training for Universal Studios, then that means that you can actually have discount on tickets for yourself for when you're traveling. So for example, in Orlando, you can get 50% off the main price for the Explorer ticket, which is the 3-park ticket that we sell throughout the UK and Europe. So there are also opportunities to get discount on the Universal hotels in Orlando. And coming very, very soon, there will also be discount for those people who want to get a ticket to visit Universal Studios Hollywood. So keep looking out for that. If you haven't registered before, just click onto universalpartnercommunity.com. And most people should be able to just register very simply. But if you do have any problems registering, and if it asks you for a registration code, then you can email our team here in the UK, and my colleague Zoe will be able to help you. And that's the sales and marketing at nbcuni.com address that's on there as well. So if you need to, just take a note of that, just so you have it just in case. But it should be very simple to register on the community. And as I say, every day we're generally updating on anything that's new in Universal Orlando and also Universal Studios Hollywood. So that's to start with the training and the information portal. Leah, if you wouldn't mind just to share video number 1, please, and then we can just have a little look at an introduction video. Thank you. Okay. So a little introduction video to Universal Parks and Resorts, because there you would have seen things like Jaws, which you can only see in Hollywood these days, but things like the castle at Hogwarts for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which you can see in both Universal Orlando and in Hollywood as well. I think we're very well known, and most of you will know what we are famous for at Universal, including the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Jurassic World, of course, you saw it in the video there with our new Raptor encounter, and things like Marvel over in Orlando, but Minions in both parks, Transformers the same, and also the Simpsons, just to name but a few of our famous characters within the parks. Of course, if you are traveling over to Universal Studios Hollywood, you get the extra bonus of being in Los Angeles and being in the middle of movie world. So we have the fantastic movie experience and the tour that come as only a feature within Hollywood itself. I wanted to start with Hollywood and just talk, because this time last year Hollywood was closed and then we reopened last summer, and I'm really pleased to say that although they've had very serious restrictions in California in comparison to Orlando and Florida, last week you may have seen that we finally relaxed the need for testing and the need for COVID certificates to enter Universal Studios Hollywood. So now we do not have those restrictions in place. You do not need to show proof of vaccination. You do not need to show any kind of certificate, and you do not have to present a negative test on arrival. So that's really great news. The restrictions for the face coverings also has been lifted. We now just recommend that you wear them indoors, but that you don't have to if you don't want to, but that is just a recommendation for indoor use of the facial covering. So really positive news now for Hollywood that that we don't have those restrictions. And I also wanted to mention that tomorrow, I think by the end of the day tomorrow, you should see again another announcement with Hollywood. And this has not been a big secret that there has been a big area of land being built on at Hollywood to expand the park and bring in the Super Nintendo World that is already open in Japan. If you've seen anything on YouTube about Super Nintendo World in Japan, you know it's coming to Hollywood next. So tomorrow, I can't tell you much at the moment, but tomorrow we will be releasing more information on what's happening and when the potential opening dates will be for Super Nintendo World at Universal Hollywood. So that's coming tomorrow. A little teaser for you there. But yeah, there it's at Hollywood as well. We have a few different attractions as well. Things like the Secret Life of Pets I'll talk about in a moment. The studio tour I mentioned. Other things from DreamWorks like Kung Fu Panda. Just make it that little bit different. But you've also got the flavor of Orlando in there with many of the attractions that you could see when you're in Florida as well. Of course, the famous studio tour is still running. It's a 60-minute tour around all the back lots of all of the movie experiences. Really fantastic. And these days now, if you haven't been for a few years, we have brought in the 3D experiences of King Kong and Fast and Furious Supercharged that you see on the right-hand side there. Really popular attractions in Orlando, which now feature as part of this 60-minute movie tour as well. So bigger and better than ever. And also we have some new expansion in City Walk as well. And again, seeing some of the famous places to eat that you already see in Orlando now coming over to Hollywood. So Antojitos is the authentic Mexican restaurant that is in City Walk now in both parks. And just recently we've opened the NBC Sports Grill and Brew And anybody who's been to Orlando and been to City Walk in Orlando, the NBC Sports Grill and Brew stands out for its really big video screens with all of the major sporting events going on, and over 300 televisions throughout the whole of the restaurant. So now we have NBC Sports Grill and Brew at City Walk in Universal Studios Hollywood as well, and more to come in the months and the years ahead planned. Jurassic World, in both parks now, we've moved from the old Jurassic Park into the new Jurassic World franchise. So much more theming around this area. We've got a brand new, still I would say a brand new attraction in terms of Jurassic World the ride, which is like the riverboat ride through there, where now we've brought in new characters, the raptor encounter. We've brought in the new Mosasaurus, the aquatic dinosaur that you see within the ride as well. And yeah, just making it bigger and better and bringing it into the modern Jurassic World franchise now with the ride, which has been going down incredibly well. It did open before the pandemic, but actually for many people haven't been able to travel for nearly 2 years, then it's almost a new attraction still. And then something for the family, The Secret Life of Pets Off the Leash, the very famous Illuminations, who also create the Minions and Despicable Me. This has been a major success for us in terms of one of the best family rides that we offer in any of our parks, really. An incredible experience, and again, opened just before the pandemic, but many people from Italy will not have visited Universal Studios Hollywood whilst this new experience has been open. So again, something new for people to see when they're traveling to Los Angeles and over to Universal Studios Hollywood. I wanted to mention some of the changes in the tickets, just so you know how we are working now. Wherever you purchase your ticket from, whoever you work with on them, we still have the general admission ticket. The special offer throughout the whole of the UK and Europe is a special ticket that you can't buy in America. It's the buy a day, get 1 day free. So you buy a 1 day ticket, essentially it's the 1 day price. And that means that you can go into Universal Studios Hollywood, and then you can use the ticket again within the next 6 days. So if you're over in Los Angeles for a week, you have 2 opportunities to go for the price of 1 on the general admission ticket. We had a long time where maybe you were trying to buy express tickets or VIP tickets after the park reopened, and you couldn't obtain them. That's changed now. We have the express ticket and the VIP ticket back on the market. The reason there was no express and VIP for a period of time was because we've been changing the way we work with those tickets, and the pricing of them has changed slightly. So now for the peak periods, when you want VIP or express in the very busy periods, they are now date-based pricing. They are variable pricing, so they can change up to 4 times in the year. So when you're looking for your provider, you will just need to check in very carefully to make sure, right, these are the tickets I want for this particular day, and they will give you that price. But please know that that price could potentially change if you're looking at VIP or express in the very peak time. So you have to work a little bit closer with your providers in terms of making sure you book the tickets quite quickly and get the price while the price is as it's advertised. So just some slight changes there, but still essentially the same 3 tickets: general admission, express, and VIP. So that's what's going on in California. Over in Orlando, there is always lots going on all the time. As many of you know, we have the 8 Universal hotels now open. The Dockside Inn and Suites was the 8th hotel, which opened during the pandemic. That means we have 9,000 hotel rooms on site at Universal Orlando now. So the 8 hotels sit within the 3 theme parks. We are very different to Disney in that Disney is very spread out, very open in Orlando, whereas with us, we are everything within 4 square kilometers. We have dining and entertainment at City Walk, which is now bigger than ever before. And we have free resort-wide transportation. For those people staying in our Universal hotels, they have 3 methods of transport to get into the parks. First of all, they can walk because the parks are so close to many of the hotels. They can go in on the shuttle buses that you see in the bottom right-hand corner. And we have our beautiful water taxis as well from 4 of the 8 hotels that take you along the waterway and into City Walk. And there you can see on the map the waterway itself from Sapphire Falls on the left-hand side over to the Portofino Bay on the right-hand side, and City Walk in the middle. So again, you know, we as I say, everything within 4 square kilometers. So it's really important for your customers to know that if they're on site at Universal, they're in the parks, and some of the family get a little bit tired, it's very, very easy to get back to your hotel very quickly. So if some of the family want to go back to the hotel and the rest of the family stay in the parks, you have free Wi-Fi everywhere, free Wi-Fi in the parks, free Wi-Fi in the hotels, so people can keep in touch and arrange to meet up a little bit later. So very, very simple when you're on site in there. In terms of City Walk, if you haven't seen City Walk at Universal Orlando before, these are the water taxis coming from the 4 hotels into City Walk at nighttime. It's so beautiful, so well lit up. You have a massive choice of restaurants and places to drink, eat, to shop, everything up until 2 o'clock in the morning when it closes. So still the water taxis and the shuttle buses, they leave City Walk and go back to the hotels even at 2 o'clock in the morning. The last one's back. On the other side of the river, when you're looking away from City Walk, you have some beautiful buildings like the Hard Rock Cafe and the Hard Rock Theatre, and also the brilliant Toothsome Chocolate Emporium, which is sitting there on the left of the Hard Rock, and looks absolutely amazing. So if you love your desserts and you like places like the Cheesecake Factory as an example, this is our Universal version of that, very much based on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the famous movie. And you meet some real characters in there. But if you have a real taste for desserts and you love your sweets, and you can really enjoy a nice meal there, but save some room for the dessert for sure. Can we just show the second video now, please, Leah? That would be great. And this is an overview of Universal Orlando Resort, all the characters and the hotels and the park attractions. Thanks, Leah. I really love that video because it really paints the whole picture of Universal in terms of, you see some of the hotels, you see how close they are to the parks, like I was just saying. You see all of the characters, some of the special attractions and roller coasters that we have, and of course our fantastic things like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and just the reaction of people as they walk around the immersive worlds within Universal. It's very, very special. So I really love that. But of course you need a ticket to be able to enter into the parks here. So again, just to give you an example, not too much change here for Universal. We obviously still offer, for those people who are in Orlando for several days, they may want to take advantage of the 14-day 3-park Explorer ticket. That is still available. but also knowing that the Italian market don't spend as much time in Orlando generally as the UK market, who like the Explorer ticket. We have the park-to-park tickets, as we call them. 1 day between Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. We have the 2 day between the same parks, and then we have the 2 day 3-park ticket, which includes Volcano Bay, which you see on the right hand side there. So if people want to go to Volcano Bay as well as the other 2 parks, then you have the 2 day 3-park ticket, or you have the Explorer ticket. And to be honest, when you look at the pricing, there's not much difference between the 2 of them. So certainly if you have any people who are looking to spend any more than 2 days, make sure they book the 14-day Explorer ticket. Even if they're not going to use the ticket for 14 days, they still get so much value for money, because the prices here and buying them before you travel are so much better than buying them at the gate at Universal, for sure. So that's still a very positive message to give to the customers. They often think they want to go to Orlando and they will just go to the gate and find a very good price ticket, but that's not the case, because the Americans, they pay much more than the European and the British market do for tickets. We also have now, through your suppliers, we've been working very hard on having the opportunity to have customers purchase express and VIP tour tickets before they leave Italy. We haven't been able to do this before. If you wanted to book a Universal Express ticket, you would have to buy it at Universal itself. But now we have all our main partners who sell the tickets throughout Europe who actually have the ability to offer an express pass or a VIP tour to guests as well. Just to remember, the difference between Orlando and Hollywood is that you still, in Orlando, you need your entrance ticket. You need one of those tickets at the top already. And then if you want to, say, for one day of your visit, you want to add express, then you add it on the top. So it's an extra price on top of the ticket, unlike Universal Studios Hollywood, where it's part of the ticket. So that's the difference. But yeah, if you have got customers traveling and they may be going to Universal for 3 or 4 days, and maybe for one day they want to make it very special by joining a VIP tour or having an express pass for that one day, then you can book it. And again, it's all date based. So depending on which day you book will depend on what the price is on that particular day. So another new option to be able to offer to sell your customers before they leave Italy. So just to move into the parks quickly, and what I'm going to do is I have an idea just to walk you around the parks and briefly touch on some things that you may already know, and just talk about some of the new attractions along the way as well. Within Universal Studios Hollywood, within Universal Studios Florida, these are some of the top attractions that you'll find. I won't run through them all, but we have a variety of different experiences in through there. From the real old of E.T., for example, the only original ride at Universal in Florida that is still there, right the way up to some new ideas here. So outside of E.T., if you've ever been to Universal Orlando and you know that area outside E.T., we've created this new area called the DreamWorks Destination, whereby people can meet some of the characters that you don't generally find around the parks. More recently, we closed the Shrek attraction, which some people really love, but you still be able to see characters like Shrek and Donkey and some of the other characters from the movie over in the DreamWorks Destination area, as well as characters from the movies like Madagascar. You can also see the Trolls, which are very popular, and they all are in this area called DreamWorks Destination. So a great opportunity to go and have your children have photographs with some of these amazing characters. And then we have a new attraction called the Bourne Stuntacular, which is open just at the entrance to Universal Studios. And this is very much a live action stunt show. I may have mentioned this to you before when it was just about to open, but it's had fantastic reviews. It's quite unbelievable. It's an indoor theatre attraction where you have stunt actors live on the stage, and they follow the main character, Jason Bourne, from the Bourne movies, as he crosses 3 different continents. And they have these amazing backdrops, these incredible screens behind that run the whole length of the theatre, which makes you try to understand where is the live action, who are the live actors, and who are the people on the screens at the back. And there are car chases and helicopters, motorbikes, all sorts of things going on. We were going to show you a video today just to give you an example, but the video had some problems. So what I can say to you is please have a little look on YouTube or on the Universal Partner community and have a little look at the Bourne Stuntacular. It's quite incredible, and people say this is a show unlike any other that they've seen in a theme park before. So really incredible. So something new at Universal Studios Florida. And then I just wanted to mention again, as I always do on these, just the importance of Harry Potter to us, because so many people come to Universal because of things like Harry Potter and Jurassic Park and Marvel. But I just wanted to just once again just explain for those people who are not too familiar of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter how it operates. So in the top right-hand corner of this map, you see the London side of Harry Potter. So this is where we find Diagon Alley, and you find King's Cross Station. And then you may see the railway line that runs across, and the Hogwarts Express at Universal Orlando takes you across into our other park, into Islands of Adventure, where you arrive at the Scottish side of Harry Potter, so Hogsmeade Village and Hogwarts Castle. And so this is still the only Universal park where you can actually ride on the Hogwarts Express between London and Scotland. So it's still really, really special. And here in London, you have, as I say, Diagon Alley, the Wizarding World, people going around with their uniforms and their wands, their interactive wands that they've bought in the Ollivander's wand shop. They can go into Gringotts Bank behind there and go through on the amazing Escape from Gringotts attraction ride, which is incredible. You can buy a butterbeer. You can go and sit in the Leaky Cauldron from the books and the movies. Everything is a completely immersive world. And when you see Harry Potter fans walking through Diagon Alley, they sometimes are in tears. They're so excited that they can't believe that they're actually there. And that's the idea of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It's about immersing you in that world, and so you're exactly there. And as I say, you go next door to Diagon Alley is King's Cross Station. So again, people love to go through the exact replica of King's Cross Station and jump onto the Hogwarts Express, which again is very, very special. It's a very interactive journey as well, where you are not looking out of the window looking at the parks. You're seeing a journey between King's Cross Station and Hogwarts Castle itself, and a different journey if you're going from Scotland back to London. So very, very good idea to do it both ways when you're visiting. And when you come off in Scotland, you're in Hogsmeade Village and the snow-capped roofs, and a very different experience here. But still, you can go into the Three Broomsticks restaurant, in to buy a butterbeer on the way up to Hogwarts Castle. And when you get up to Hogwarts Castle, it's absolutely spectacular by day, but even more spectacular by evening. And every night, from when the sun goes down until the closing of the park, we have the nighttime lights at Hogwarts Castle. So this is a very spectacular, it's only a 5 or 6 minute show, but it happens every 20 minutes until the park closes, where we light up the castle in spectacular colors. You'll hear the very famous music from the Harry Potter movies. You see fireworks, lasers, and it tells a tale of the four houses of Hogwarts itself. And so it's a very spectacular end to the day in Islands of Adventure. And then next door to Hogwarts Castle, we have an attraction that opened in the summer of 2019. So again, there's still many people from the Italian market who haven't visited Universal since this ride opened. This is Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. As you can see, the attraction, the roller coaster itself, is made up of Hagrid's method of transport. That's the motorcycle and the sidecar. So you can choose which one to go in. You have two very different feelings of flying through the Forbidden Forest. And this is where you're going, to the Forbidden Forest, where Universal created this by planting 1,200 live trees. All of the famous magical creatures from the books and the movies can be found in the Forbidden Forest. And yeah, you have this feeling of flying through the trees and flying past the buildings and the magical creatures all the way through. And it launches 7 different times. So you are going very slowly, seeing the magical creatures, and then you blast off to a different area, another big launch off to a different area. So the feeling of going from 0 to 70 kilometers per hour is amazing. And we call this a story coaster, finally, because you hear the voice of the actor Robbie Coltrane, who played Hagrid, coming through the roller coaster. So he is telling you where you are in the forest and who you are meeting along the way. And it's a really spectacular family attraction. It doesn't go upside down or anything too crazy. It just takes your breath away with the speed and the different launches, but brilliant for the adults and for the children. It's one of my favorite rides at Universal. So again, have a look on the Universal Partner Community and have a look on our YouTube pages to see the videos of this amazing attraction. It's incredible. And then via the Raptor encounter next door to Hogwarts is actually the areas into Islands of Adventure of Jurassic. And again, many brilliant attractions here in Islands of Adventure itself. List them up on there. Some brilliant water attractions as well. For people who like Dr. Seuss, you have all of the areas of Dr. Seuss in there as well. King Kong I mentioned, but at the bottom there, the new Jurassic World Velocicoaster. So if there's anybody here today who love the big roller coasters like the Incredible Hulk coaster that we have in this park already, well, now Incredible Hulk has a rival in the Jurassic World Velocicoaster, and this opened in June of last year. And again, just like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the theming of this ride and the feeling of being in Jurassic World itself is incredible. From the moment you get into the line, into the queue, and walk through the attraction, everything is just unbelievable. The easiest thing for me to do is to ask Leah to show the next video, because this is when the ride first opened, and you'll see the reaction from the American public who were enjoying the ride at the time. So let's have a look at this one. So as you can see, there's a lot of excitement in Orlando. There has been since June when it opened, and this is incredible because, like people say, I know we call it the new species of roller coaster, but it is very incredibly immersive and a brilliant attraction. And I say quite high adrenaline, as you can see from there. And you might have noticed there was no bar over the shoulders as well. So this is one of them rides where you only have a bar over your waist, which means that at certain times you feel like you're rising out of your seat, which is what they call in the roller coaster world, they call it airtime. And they say there's 12 seconds of airtime on this ride, which is incredible sort of feeling of almost flying out of your seat. So not for everybody, I understand that, but there will be many people I'm sure on this call who love their roller coasters, who can't wait to get out, just like me, can't wait to get back to Orlando and enjoy the Velocicoaster. So again, brand new at Universal. And then, of course, just to mention Volcano Bay, our third park, still very important to us. Those people booking the Explorer ticket can take advantage of Volcano Bay as well. This winter, last winter, we managed to close for a couple of months, which was great to give time to completely refresh the park. It only opened in 2017, so it's only just going to be 5 years old this year. But still, some of the most amazing attractions for any water park around the world. We call it a water theme park because we use a lot of the same technology as roller coasters on some of the rides. So in some cases, you're like on a roller coaster on water, and very different to anything else you see. And on top of that, the technology for the park. And as I've mentioned before, the little wristwatch that you see on the lady's arm there. This is the Tapu Tapu, which is the basically the virtual queue line experience for Volcano Bay. So every attraction, they have a little display screen. You walk up to the attraction, it will often just say ride is available now, and you can go straight on. But when the park gets busy, the technology starts to work, and it starts to say, this ride now, you cannot go on here for 15 minutes. So rather than wait, there's no queuing, there's no waiting in the hot sunshine for any rides. This lady would tap her watch onto the display, and the 15-minute wait time would go onto her watch there. And then she will go off and she will go to another ride that's available, or go have a swim, go in the wave pool, do anything else she wants to do. But in 15 minutes, that watch, the Tapu Tapu, will vibrate on her wrist, and it will tell her that the ride she was waiting for is now available. And that means that whenever she's ready, she doesn't have to go straight away, but whenever she's ready, she can go to that attraction, tap the screen again, it will release the wait time, and she can go straight on to the slide. And then she's able to use that Tapu Tapu wristwatch for any other times around the park. And it's not an express pass or anything like that, but it basically means that we don't have anybody waiting in any long queue rides in Volcano Bay. So you can make the most out of your day. You can get the most enjoyment possible out of a trip to Volcano Bay. And it is really, really a very, very special water park. And even my colleagues over here from places like SeaWorld and Disney, who I work with very closely, they say it is very, very, very difficult to beat Volcano Bay. It is the best water park in Florida, and that's for sure. So yeah, that's our third park, Volcano Bay. So that makes up the 3 parks that we have. And I just wanted to kind of really go back to Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, really, to show you the new app that we have developed over the period of COVID. This app, always, whenever your customers go to Universal Orlando or Universal Hollywood, please get them to download the app. It's fantastic to have on your phone. It not only gives you the resort maps, and all these resort maps tell you the wait time in each one of the parks. Obviously not Volcano Bay because there isn't any wait times, but in terms of the Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, you can see the wait times in there. You can also find directions and what times the parks are open that day. You can find out where the parade's going to be, or what time that day the Universal Superstar Parade is going to be, because Disney is obviously very well known for its parades, but people don't always realize that Universal, we have all of our characters out in a parade every single day of the year. We also have the character meet and greet. So again, if you want to make sure that you know when the characters are going to be out in the streets or where they're going to be, you can find that information out on the app. And in the evenings, when we have certain shows like the show at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter that I showed you, the nighttime lights at Hogwarts Castle, we also have in Universal Studios, we have Universal Cinematic Celebration, which happens most nights at the end of the day before the park closes. We have this amazing fountain show, and projected onto the fountains and onto the water are many of the different Universal characters that you will have seen that day, but also some of the amazing movie scenes from Universal Pictures over the years as well. And again, this has a backdrop of lasers and of fireworks and of fantastic music and movie theme tunes as well. So it's an incredible little 15 to 20 minute show at the end of each day in Universal Studios as well. So you can find out all the times on the app for that. And then finally, just to let you know, there are no charges with our app. I know Disney have made a lot of different changes. We don't have any charges on our app, but we still do have a virtual line experience on there. So on the day you're visiting the parks, once you're on the park Wi-Fi, you can have a look at the virtual line for that day, and it could show you a selection of rides that are available. So say, for example, we talked about Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure being very, very popular. You could go on there, find it in the day, and it'd say, okay, you have an opportunity to visit that ride at 1 p.m. and you can actually lock that into your app. And that means that you're guaranteed to get on there at 1 o'clock, and you can build your day around that particular attraction if that's your favorite attraction. So it's not like Disney's Genie Plus now, where we're asking you for more money to be able to get onto these rides quicker. It's a free of charge application that you can use, and you can you can just enjoy your time in Universal a little bit better. So that's the app. I just wanted to finally finish with just a little overview of the new hotels. And within Orlando here, we now have the new Endless Summer Resort, which sits over on the left-hand side of the map that you're looking at there now. This is the land where Wet n Wild used to be. If you remember the water park Wet n Wild, before Volcano Bay came along, this was Universal's water park. And that land now has created 2 new hotels. And these are our new value entry-level hotels at Universal. So these are the best prices that we have in all of our sections. So you see here with Universal, we have Endless Summer Resort, the value lead-in pricing, if you like, but brand new hotels. Then you go up a level to Aventura and Cabana Bay, which are we call prime value, so maybe 3-star plus in terms of levels. All of these hotels that I mentioned there, they all have like grab and go food. So you can go in the morning and just have Starbucks or go to the diner, get some food and head into the parks quickly. When you move up the next level to Sapphire Falls and the hotels on the right hand side there, these are all hotels that not only offer Starbucks and grab and go services, but also full service dining and full pool service. So if you're around the swimming pool, you could have your drinks brought to you. And again, the same in the restaurants, you can go and sit in one of the dining restaurants and have waiter service. So that's the difference when you get to preferred level and then the premier level at the end. And the big special thing about the 3 hotels on the right hand side, the Royal Pacific, the Hard Rock Hotel and the Portofino Bay, these are our premier hotels. And these hotels, when you stay in them, you get an express pass included. So you can go down the express rides down the lines for every attraction within the park. So that's a great bonus to have. So you obviously pay a little bit more, but you get the very top end of our brilliant hotels and you get the express pass included. And then just to mention, as well as the complimentary transport from the hotels into the parks, you also have for all of our hotels, whichever hotel you stay in, you get early park admission. So you get in 1 hour earlier than the general public. So that's again in the holiday times, particularly when times are a little bit busier at Christmas and Easter and in the summer, that 1 hour extra that you have to get into the parks is fantastic, particularly for things like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter that get very busy very quickly. So they are the features of staying in the Universal hotels. And then just back to finish on Endless Summer Resort, just how special this is. You would never believe that this is 3-star and 3-star pricing, because it is absolutely top of the range in terms of furnishings and hotels. The thing is, these hotels were built just with value for money in mind. They have their own swimming pools, they have their own grab and go services and dining, they have a poolside diner in each one. But outside of that, that is pretty much it. You have the complimentary transportation into City Walk and into Universal, and you get the perks of having early park admission and things like that. But generally, this is our entry level, and the pricing is unbelievable. For the twin rooms, the queen rooms, we're looking at around about $80 per room per night, sleeping up to 4. And in the 2-bedroom suites, because half of each hotel are 2-bedroomed family style suites, they are from $110 per room per night. And one thing I haven't told you about this property is that the road that leads through the middle is Universal Boulevard, heading straight up to City Walk in 3 minutes. And across the top, the road that goes across the top is International Drive. So these are our first Universal hotels located on International Drive, 3 minutes away from the parks. And you have all of the brilliant facilities of Universal on your doorstep, as well as International Drive. So with the price and all of these factors in mind, it is really great. Endless Summer Resort Surfside Inn and Suites is 750 rooms. And then the larger property next door is Dockside Inn and Suites, which has just over 2,000 rooms. I'm going to finish with a video, and that's going to show you Dockside Inn and Suites. Dockside Inn and Suites was the latest property to open just during last year. So this will show you the quality. Okay, so there we go. And that, again, like I say, 3-star and the pricing on International Drive and with universal benefits. It's no wonder that the hotels are selling so well. So they're our latest hotels. And as I say, that's 8 hotels and 9,000 rooms on site at Universal Orlando now. So that was really everything that I had to share with you today. I know I'm thinking that maybe some questions have come in, so I've left some time at the end of our hour here just to be able to answer anything. So I'll pass back to Mia or Leah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Dave. First of all, I wanted to, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I did not want to interrupt you while you were speaking, but
Okay.
you received quite a lot of compliments for the passion that you have for the product. So you see that you are really, really passionate and you like what you sell. So this I really have to tell you.
Thank you. No, we're all like that. I think it's just such an unbelievable product that yeah, when you get to see it, I know Mia, you've just been to Universal Hollywood. I mean, when you're there, it is just incredible. So for anyone,
I'm going to Orlando in June, so I'll have a second opportunity.
Of course, yes.
Dave,
yeah.
Somebody's asking if you have any program for like universal specialists or something where, like an academy, where the
Yes,
agents can.
Yeah, let me just turn off my. Oh, sorry, I was going to stop sharing so I could see people as well. I was going to say, yes, on the Universal Partner Community, that's exactly what I was referring to with the training on there, Mia. So we have like an academy on there, so you can become a Universal specialist and you can get qualified in terms of knowing Orlando and Hollywood. And then when you have completed that training, that means that you're also
Perfect.
any benefits as well on top of that. So it's really great. If you have plans to go to Orlando or Hollywood, please make sure you go on and register and do the training, because that will mean that you'll get some discount when you go to the parks themselves.
Yeah, Claudio, questa era la risposta per te, quindi esiste un programma su Community, quindi se hai dei problemi o comunque non riesci ad accedere, basta che fai sapere a Dave, comunque esiste questo programma di training sui 2 parchi. Quindi, and I think I don't see any other question, maybe for the videos, but Leah already answered those. So per quanto riguarda i video, riceverete tutti domani con il link direttamente da Leah, quindi ci saranno tutti i video che Dave ha fatto vedere oggi durante il webinar. Ci sono, non vedo altre domande. I don't see any other question right now.
That's great. I think it was the most important thing for me was just that we've changed the tickets slightly. So I just wanted to mention those tickets. And but if there's any questions that happen later, Mia, please just anybody can send me an email and I'll be happy to try and answer. No problem.
Absolutely. I video verranno inviati domani.
Sì.
Quindi riceverete tutto.
Assolutamente sì, invieremo la mail con la presentazione di Dave che è già comunque inclusa in questo webinar, e in più tutti i video che avete visto oggi, più quello che ha annunciato Dave, che era un po' lungo da vedere, abbiamo avuto qualche problema, quindi comunque lo potrete rivedere sul vostro computer.
Ok, perfetto. C'è una domanda. Dave, somebody is asking if the tickets can be bought directly on the community, on the agent's website.
You mean for the agents themselves?
No, for their clients.
No, because we don't work directly with anybody. All of our work is B2B. So our contracted partners all have access to the tickets, but we don't sell tickets directly. No.
Okay, so they have to go via the tour operator, correct?
Yes, by the tour operator or the ticket partner, whoever they use, or the receptive partner. Yes, we contract through them, but we don't do anything in Europe or the UK. We don't do any sales direct from Universal. Direct.
And for personal tickets?
Personal tickets is different. Personal tickets for the Universal Partner Community. When people have completed the training, then there is a link to be able to book their tickets. And they book their tickets, they get a confirmation, and then when they get to the park to collect their tickets, they pay the 50% price at the park.
Perfect. Ambra, quindi i biglietti possono essere comprati, cioè per i vostri clienti direttamente attraverso i tour operator o i partner che fanno da rivenditori. Invece per i vostri biglietti personali, una volta che terminate il training, riceverete un link per poter acquistare i vostri biglietti con lo sconto. Ok, esiste del materiale utilizzabile. They're asking for material to be used on social media. So like videos and images.
Yeah, again,
They find it in
the
the community.
exactly, the partner community, it hosts everything. So there is an area called sales tools. And in the
Okay.
sales, you have a social media toolkit. So images, everything that's on the partner community, Mia, you can actually use all social. Yeah.
Paola, tutto si trova nella community, c'è Sales Kit e riuscite a scaricare tutto il materiale, c'è proprio del materiale apposta per i social media da poter condividere. Yeah, can you please just show once again the link for the community?
Yeah, sure. Let me just go backwards on the slides.
There is no copyright on the images to be shared by social media, right?
No, not the ones that are on the community are approved. Yeah, they're approved. Sorry, I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna flick backwards through this like this. Hope it doesn't make everyone's eyes go crazy.
It's in the beginning.
Yeah, here we go. So the community, the universalpartnercommunity.com is the site to go onto, and you should be able to register without any problem. But if there is a problem during registration, they could just email myself and my colleague Zoe on the sales and marketing email address there.
Okay, perfect. They're asking if they can receive a list of authorized partners for the.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of authorized partners, I mean, we work generally with all, you know, the major receptive and ticket brokers, and whether that be somebody like Musement in Italy, or whether it be Hotel Beds or Bonotel or ATI, they're usually the most popular ones like that come up. Team America. So all of the major receptive partners are contracted to sell Universal hotels and tickets.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have a list particularly.
No, that's fine. I think this answered the.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the material that they find on the community, they don't have to ask authorizations. They just download it and can share it. Okay.
Yeah, the reason we put it onto the community is because they are approved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ok, quindi non dovete chiedere approvazione, autorizzazione per il materiale che si trova nella community. Ovviamente è libera di copyright. I don't see anything else, so we might wrap it up.
No problem. That's great. Great to.
You have, yeah, your presentation was pretty comprehensive and.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Great to have so many people joining us. It's great. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you Dave, grazie a tutti, alla prossima volta, e domani Lia manderà tutta quanta la presentazione con i video annessi. Poi se avete delle domande fateci sapere. Vi ringraziamo ancora tanto e buona giornata e buon lavoro. Ciao a tutti.
Ciao.